Awesome. All right. Thank you. Thank you again for joining us today. This is the IC Real-Time webinar series. Today we're going to talk about 360 and 720 cameras. I am Pat Carter. I'm the technical trainer here at IC Real-Time. I handle all of the public as well as private webinars. This is part of a series, so we will be doing this webinar again this afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And as we mentioned, I am recording this. It is going on the IC Real-Time YouTube page for now. So if you have any colleagues that missed this event, they can certainly check it out there. Hi, welcome. We have added an extra webinar for this month. We didn't have one previously on the calendar, but it is there now. After the CDS show, we had a lot of people asking about common cameras, popular cameras. So next Wednesday at 10 and 4, we will do a webinar called 12 Cameras You Need to Know. Actually, there's 14. We include our 360 cameras. But 12 cameras you need to know. It's really good for new guys that are just learning the product line. It's great for new sales reps or great for new installers to kind of learn what camera works perfectly for each job. So go ahead and mark your calendars now. Again, next Wednesday, we will have a special webinar on 12 cameras that you need to know. Today, we're going to talk about 4 cameras that you need to know, and those are our 360 and 720 cameras. So let's move this out of the way. And we're going to go right to the 720 cameras. Now, the 720 line is pretty impressive. It's pretty amazing. Let me go ahead and bring this guy up so you can see it. The 720 camera is really the only camera in the world that has 2 back-to-back 360 lenses that give you a completely immersive view. It covers a very large area, works very, very well to cover big open areas in particular. Think about it also for things like sporting events or concert venues or cafeterias or college campuses where maybe you have a large open area that you want to cover every single spot from it. The 720 camera brings a completely immersive view, meaning you're seeing above, below, around, behind every single section. So anywhere where you normally put a PTZ is a perfect location for an IC720 beam. We use the Qualcomm Snapdragon chipset to stitch those 2 images together right at the camera level. So what it's providing you is a stream, amazing stream that is completely stitched together. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. I'm going to pull up my 720 software here. And here I am looking at my parking lot. Let me zoom out. And there you go. So what you're looking at here is basically a completely immersive view. So this is on the corner of the building. I'm looking straight down the front of my building, and I'm actually looking straight down the side of my building as well, just so you have your orientation. If I move this image around, again, I am living in this image. This is a PTZ that has no blind spots. If I want to zoom in, I can zoom in. If I want to zoom out, I can zoom out. Again, I can look straight up. I can look straight down. And I can look all the way around. Again, this camera has absolutely no blind spots. If I had mounted this kind of in the center of the wall, I could look all the way down the left side, all the way down the right side, and have no problem at all zooming in, getting facial recognition, seeing what's going on around this view. So again, imagine a PTZ camera that would have a blind spot. If it's looking over here, it's not seeing what's going on behind it. This particular camera is seeing everything. So if I want to zoom in and see what these guys are up to down at our moving company next door, I can see all the way out. Again, I can see all the way in. This is a completely immersive view. Now, this ties in very well with virtual headsets. So if you're using a VR solution, which is really a positive trend we're seeing with system specification, if you have one of these as your demo, you can take your VR headsets or your iPhone or your iPad or your Android device out to the customer and literally show them what a camera solution can look like without a blind spot. So this is the IC720. Again, the applications for it are limitless. You could really use this anywhere you use a PTZ. Let's go ahead and minimize this. We'll go back to our screen. You'll notice there are 2 flavors. There's the W200, and then there's also the W1K. Now, the W200 is an indoor-only camera, so it's not weatherproof. But it does have audio built into it. It has a really nice low IR as well as IR sensitive. So if I have other IR cameras in the area, the beam will actually benefit from those cameras. The W-1K is the outdoor version. This is a weatherproof version. It's perfect for parking lots, parking garages, again, anywhere that you need to put it out in the elements and be able to have that immersive, that 720-degree view. Pretty amazing technology. Now, if you happen to see us at CEDIA last week, you know that our Smart ICRSS, the new version that's coming out by the end of this week, will have the ability to actually flatten that view and look at it beyond what we can see already in a 360 view. We'll look at that here in just a second. Are there any questions about the 720 camera before I move on to the 360s? Awesome.
Is there audio in the outdoor version?
There is. There is audio in both versions. Both of them have microphones built right in, and they can record audio.
Great, thanks.
Awesome. It is an amazing camera. I mean, again, for us holding all the copyrights and all the patents to it, the real key, even though the hardware is pretty cool, I mean, there are no moving parts in this camera. It's literally two fisheye lenses that are capturing everything going on. The secret is really in the software. And again, we manage all of our own software. The software is what does the trick. And again, having the ability to use either the Smart ICRSS software to view this camera. You can use the free IC720 app, which is available for Apple and Android devices. And again, now you can use our 4K recorders to look at this in a de-warp view. So now you have 3 different platforms to be able to view this camera in a really natural, immersive view. So the 360 line is kind of trimmed down a little bit. There are now 2 cameras in the 360 line. There's the L4, which is the inside version, the indoor 4 megapixel version. And then there's the T12, which is the outdoor version. Now, the reason we changed the part number on the T12 was because it literally needed a whole new part. This is a complete remodel of our original L12 version. We fixed a lot of things that it just needed extra oomph for. So the L4 is basically your indoor camera. The sweet spot on this is out to about 35, 40 feet. The T12, you're going out to about 100 feet or so with no problem at all. You'll notice the T12 does have IR on it. It's got about a 60-foot of IR. And just like the 720 camera, it has the ability to actually benefit from other IR that's in the area. So again, if you have other fixed cameras around, you can certainly use those to generate IR for these. Both of these cameras have audio built into them as well. So if you're doing audio recording, you're good to go. Now the L4, again, is a very small camera. It is a non-IR. Again, it does have audio, and it's perfect for your lobbies, your conference rooms. Think about any kind of meeting room. Think about a doctor's office waiting room, maybe a car dealership, the service waiting area. You've got one camera that can cover a pretty large area. And again, with audio, it's a lot of bang for the buck. The T12, again, is your outdoor version. I've used these a lot in parking garages. I've used these a lot in the front of buildings. I can mount this onto a wall mount or mount it directly to a soffit and cover an entire area with no problem at all. So again, the future of surveillance is really more inclusive. Again, with these cameras, just like with the 720 cameras, I can use the free IC720 app to see them in a de-warp view. I can use the Smart ICRSS. We're going to go into it in just a second, and I'm actually going to dissect that view down and show you some of the advantages. And then, of course, you can use the 4K recorder to view these in a fully immersive, fully broken down view. So these are some powerful cameras, 4 cameras that you definitely should be aware of when we're talking about 360 and 720 technology. Now let me just bump into the demo real quick. I'm going to show you some examples of what the 360 camera can do. Here I'm looking at an L4. This is only a 4 megapixel camera. It's mounted in our warehouse, so you see natively it's looking at a fisheye view. So if I right-click it and go down to fisheye view, I can change this. I can change this to a full panoramic view. You'll notice the box in the bottom. If I move the green bar around, I'm able to zoom in. I'm able to zoom out. I'm able to move around and see what the guys in the warehouse are doing. So now I'm looking at a fisheye view, and I'm actually just living in the fisheye view. Again, there are no moving parts in this camera. I'm not moving a gear, or I'm not moving a PTZ. I'm actually living in the image. Let's go to another fisheye view that's pretty popular, and that's going to be the Fisheyes Plus 3 PTZ view. So again, in the top left-hand corner, I see my native fisheye view. And you'll notice as I click on the boxes, they're all different colors. I have green, yellow, and blue. Let's go ahead and grab the green one real quick. If I click on the image and just move around in it, I'm living in the image. Or if I click on the box and move around in it, I'm moving around in the image. So again, if I want to zoom in, if I want to zoom out, I have full control over this particular camera. Another very popular view is the single fisheye in the center, and then around it I have 8 different views. Again, each one of these is color-coded. If I click on purple or green or blue, you'll see that the boxes around it are highlighted. So say, for example, I grab this light blue one on the side. I can maneuver around this image. I can move this box around if I need to. I can zoom in and zoom out. I have full control of this camera. Let's go ahead and double-click out. We'll look at one more example. This happens to be a 12-megapixel camera that's in our Phoenix, Arizona office. Looks like they've got a lot of shipping going on today. Again, if I right-click on it, I can go to my fisheye view. I can change that to a panoramic. It'll take a second. It's a long way between Florida and Arizona. And again, in a 12-megapixel image, boy, that looks a lot sharper. I can zoom around. I can look around the whole facility. If I want to zoom in on these boxes, I can zoom in. I can almost get close enough to read the labels. And then when I want, I can zoom back out. So again, facial recognition is not a problem. Now you're seeing this in a warehouse application, which is a perfect application for this camera. But again, think about a concourse. Think about an airport terminal. Think about a school. Anywhere that you've got a decent sized area, you want to put one single camera in the center of that room and live within that image. Let's go ahead and do that PTZ view from here. Here's the one channel. Again, I've got my colored boxes here. Let's click on the blue one in the bottom corner. And again, as I move this image around, I'm literally living in this image. If I want to zoom in, I can zoom in. If I want to zoom out, I can zoom out. And I get a pretty tight view. I mean, facial recognition is not a problem on this camera. So this is the advantage of 360 and 720 technology. Again, I'm able to take the image, dissect it, break it down into a multi-PTZ view. Now, again, there are no moving parts on this camera. It's literally recording everything going on around it. So it is going to require quite a bit of hard drive space. In fact, the 12 megapixel T12 camera is about 5 terabytes per week of regular recording. The 4 megapixel is a little less. It's about 2 terabytes per week of regular recording. So you definitely want to make sure you've got plenty of hard drive in your unit. That's one of the reasons we recommend the 4K units. They have a lot of room for hard drives. They have the processing power to actually do all of these things that we're trying to accomplish here. And most importantly, they have the 4K output, because we know ultra high definition is somewhere around 8 megapixel. So if you're using a 12 megapixel camera, this looks absolutely amazing on that monitor. Another big important factor with the 4K recorders, again, is that it has this functionality built right into it. So I can look at a fisheye view, dissect it down. You have my color-coded images right at the recorder level. So if I have somebody who's monitoring the station, they can log right into it through Smart ICRSS. They can just go right to the 4K recorder, and they can manage and manipulate that image as much as they want. So we see some good examples of the 4 megapixel as well as the 12 megapixel. We've showed exactly how we can dissect it down in Smart ICRSS. The newest version of Smart ICRSS is actually going to give me a full PTZ view. So, excuse me, imagine a PTZ where there's a little bit of lag because of the motor. With this, you're actually PTZing around a full 360 degrees or even 720 degree image with just moving your controls. You'll definitely be able to see that here again in another week or so. There'll be a new version of Smart ICRSS out that'll be absolutely amazing. It'll knock your socks off. We won't dissect anymore. We'll actually go right into the camera and move around and live in the image. So this is the evolution of 360. You're going to see it continue to grow. It's a very, very powerful solution. Again, think of all the opportunity you have where you would normally put 6 or 8 cameras. Now you put one camera in the middle of the room, and it's literally going to cover everything you need to cover in that area. Again, the applications are limitless, from our small 4 megapixel all the way up to our 12 megapixel in the 360 camera, and also in our 720 dome, or 720 beam rather. Now the 720 beam has 2 lenses on it. Those equate out to about 13 megapixels, so you're looking at about a 26 megapixel image. It definitely is going to take up some hard drive space to record, but again, you're going to have an amazing view. You're going to capture everything going on around you, and this is the future of surveillance. Are there any questions? Nice. We kept it nice and short on a Friday afternoon. Again, I am Pat Carter. I handle all of the sales for the training for IC Realtime. I handle technical sales for the AV group. If you need to reach out to me, I am Patrick at icrealtime.com. I'd be more than happy to coordinate any kind of training you need for your team. If you're looking for a basic sales training or a more advanced technical training, I'm more than happy to help with that. I want to thank you guys very much for joining us today. Again, we will have this webinar this afternoon at 4 o'clock. If you have any colleagues you think would benefit from learning more about our 360 and 720 technology, please have them join us at 4 o'clock. Also, we have recorded this. If you go to icrealtime.com on YouTube or icrealtime at YouTube, you'll be able to see all of our previous webinars that we've recorded. Again, on Wednesday, we've added a new class at 10 and 4. It will be on 12 cameras that you should know. If you're just getting into our line, you're just getting more familiar, or if you want to get more familiar with good, better, best type solutions, definitely mark your calendars to join us on Wednesday, again at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. If there aren't any other questions, I will wish you guys a wonderful weekend, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Hey, Pat?
Yes.
Pat? On the 720 beam that I saw at CEDIA,
yes.
Saying that the software that they were demoing at the booth where I was holding the iPad in my hand and looking up, looking down, so on and so forth, is that not released?
That is released. Actually, what you saw on your iPad was the IC720 app that's been out for a good year now. It's still free. If you are using an iPad, you just go right to iTunes and download that. That'll give you that full immersive experience where you turn the iPad up and it goes up and down and left and right. That's been available for a long time. What I'm talking about is the Smart ICRSS, like you're seeing on your screen now. This is our tool that's really designed for multiple recorder applications. If your client has a chain of restaurants or a chain of hotels, you can actually put 50 recorders in this simultaneously. This is also available for free. You can just go right to our website and download the Windows version. It will update automatically, or it will be updated on the website. I believe it'll be the early part of next week. This is the one we saw on that big monitor where you noticed that the image was completely flattened out. It looked a lot kind of like the images that you're seeing here, where I can navigate around, I can click around the image and move around. It's just like that, but for the entire view. That's the new update that's going to be coming out for Smart ICRSS. The IC720 is still out. It's still free. It's an awesome app. But again, that's more designed for handheld devices, where this is designed for your surveillance, your control. You've got a security office who's monitoring all of your cameras. They'll now have the ability to pull up a full screen image of a 360 or 720 camera and actually live in it as if it were a PTZ.
Right. I actually downloaded the app, and I was looking at the demo cameras on the IC720 software. None of those, any of those, are any of those at 720?
I'm sorry, you kind of broke up on me. You downloaded the app, I'm assuming the IC720 app?
Correct, and I went to the demo cameras, which I'm assuming is your parking lot.
Correct.
Are any of the cameras on that app actually a 720?
I believe, yeah, the one that's in the parking lot on that is that a 720 or a 360? I know they're in the process of revamping the demos, so I believe it's one of the 720 cameras. But I also know that we've had a 360 camera. In fact, one of our indoor cameras, we're testing it for outdoor. It's been outdoors for, gosh, about 2 years now, and it's running like a champ. So I know that we're in the process of changing those up.
I'm going to want to order one of these in and get it in the office and play with them. I was trying to...
Sure. That's really the best way to do it. Again, talk to your sales rep. The price point's really good on these for what they do and what they are. They're really not that much more expensive than a traditional PTZ. So, yeah, absolutely. No, this is definitely the way to go when you're talking about replacing PTZs. And really the best way to see it and best way to experience it is to have one in your office and be able to show it off to your clients.
Okay. And is there any videos that kind of show off you know, that give a
No,
demonstration.
you kind of broke up again. Is there any video?
Hang on, let me get off of let me get off this earpiece. I'm sure it's just gonna let me do that. Are you there?
I'm there. Wow, that's way better. Okay. Is there any
Sorry,
video?
the earpiece was easier for listening to you talk. But
Okay.
is there any videos or any collateral or something that I could use to show somebody that experience before I get a camera in my hand? Meaning, is there any YouTube videos?
Absolutely. In fact, on our YouTube site, there's a lot of videos. If you use our sister camera, which is the Ollie, you know, the Ollie we had at the show as well. The Ollie website has a ton of 360 and 720 videos. It's not quite as good as high resolution, but the Ollie is really a powerful camera. And again, it's not as much a surveillance device as it is more of a nanny cam or a drop cam type solution. But if you're looking for really good videos, we definitely have some very good videos on that. I believe it's ollie.cam or olliecam.com is the website for that. But you can certainly see a lot of great canned videos out on the web because obviously Ollie will stream directly to YouTube and it'll also stream or show 360 video on the Facebook as well. So you can definitely see some canned videos. If you need, you can certainly talk to your rep. They can get you links to some of those videos, and that's not a problem at all. We love showing off this technology.
Yeah, no, I just, if I can provide, you know, with my iPad, the same experience, you know, walking a client's property and show them, you know, our office in action, similar to what I saw at CEDIA, that pretty much sells itself.
It does sell itself. This is a very difficult technology to explain. You know, it's like you could say it's a PTZ that covers everything, and people kind of get it. But unless you've actually seen it and experienced it, especially that iPad experience, where just like you're saying, you know, you're moving it around, you're living in the image. Even VR headsets, you know, you put on a VR goggle, and wow, it's like you're there. That's really the best way to sell it. And again, your sales rep will definitely work with you. You'll notice, obviously, I'm logged into a couple of our demo recorders here in Florida as well as Phoenix. These are available for you guys as well. Talk to your sales rep and get credentials, and you'll be able to log into these on your device and be able to show it off as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I just need to get one and get my hands with it. But I thought I was told at CEDIA that the microphone was not active in the outdoor one as of yet, but a software revision was going to take care of that.
It's due this week.
Okay, great. All right, well, listen, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, and thanks everyone else for hopping on. Again, if you need to reach me, I am Patrick at icrealtime.com, and hey, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, guys.